Welcome back, everybody. Today we're talking about my favorite punch, the lead hook, and more specifically, how to increase the power of this weaker arm. Be sure to stick around because I have 4 tips coming that will make that lead hook your new knockout punch. If you guys want to get in on the Iron Man glove giveaway, make sure you enter, click on the link up above, follow to my other video where I explain how you can win them, get entered, and good luck. All right guys, 4 tips to make your lead hook, your left hook for most of us, more powerful. Tip number 1 is to keep your elbow as high as your fist. Make that horizontal plane across the forearm. Why is this so important? Because when I make impact on an opponent, a bag, a pad, I want to make sure that my force is generating through and I have something supporting it from behind. If my elbow is low, my wrist folds. When my wrist folds and I make impact, my elbow can't drive through the target with all this weight backing up the fist. Instead, I hit, my elbow collapses, my wrist takes the brunt of it, probably getting damaged, and it can fold under, decreasing the power. So leveling out that forearm and making good solid connection that has force generated behind it is so important to keep that power up on that lead arm, or any hook actually, because if I throw off the right, I want to make sure I'm doing that as well. Tip number 2 is not to leave your lead shoulder in front all the time. Yes, I can generate some power off this lead shoulder by twisting and getting to my target, but I'm better off twisting my shoulders, getting that lead shoulder all the way to the back, cocking my hips and unwinding. Now I can do this by just going here to here, but that's obviously going to slow down the technique and make it much more readable. So I can disguise that with a punch and then unwind. I can disguise it with a little slip and then unwind, or I can just bob from side to side as I'm moving around, getting a little bit of head movement in, and if I see the opportunity, when that shoulder is in the rear now, I unwind and therefore increase the power of this lead hook. My 3rd tip is to play with the hand positioning of your arm. And this is something that a lot of gyms don't instruct or talk about because they have one way they want you to do it. They teach you, okay, thumb up, and that's the way you always throw your hook. But I like to look at all the different options and teach all the different options. So we have thumb facing up, palm facing towards me. That's sort of the American style hook. The European style is when your palm is down. If you put your thumb out, it would be facing towards yourself. And there's even some guys who turn the hand all the way over. Now, I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying try out all the different options and find what works for you. Personally, for me, I've discovered on short hooks or body hooks, I like to go with that traditional American style hook. But if I go for a longer one, I sometimes find it beneficial to turn over, because now instead of landing with this portion of my hand as I throw the hook, I flip and I'm landing now with the knuckles. Either way, try out the different options and you might find that you're more powerful with one of those variations. One of the coaches who's helped me over the years finds that this is a really powerful shot for him all the time. But for me, it kind of aggravates my wrist if I do it time and time again, so then I start throwing with less power. Here, I feel strong, I feel confident that my wrist is supported, and I get the most power using this technique. But you need to figure out what is personally best for you so you can make that hook as powerful as possible. And tip number 4, and this is something that is a little bit more difficult as a kickboxer, but still to be utilized, is to pivot your lead foot to generate power. If I stand completely flat-footed and don't twist at all through my feet, I'm going to be lacking power, and therefore I'm just not going to generate as much as I possibly could. If you can get a small pivot and disconnect your heel and turn your lead toes on a 45-degree angle, you're going to generate much more power, and you can return to your stance quickly without the same concern about that counter low kick. Like I said, this is my favorite shot. It's really been working for me over the last few years. I've been landing lots of knockdowns with it, and realistically, my right hook should be more powerful, or maybe my cross. But this is the one where I feel, and my pad holders confirm it, where I get the most power. But those 4 tips that I showed you, I use all of them. And that's gonna allow me, unless I'm doing a light little setup hook, that's gonna allow me to generate force from my elbow behind my fist, full power potential there, engaging right through my shoulders, playing with the different hand positions so I can feel what is most powerful and what's gonna benefit me most. And also, of course, very important, engaging right from my feet. So I'm digging into the floor, I'm twisting, and I'm generating that power from the foot to the knee to the hip, all the way then to the upper body, and finally through the arm. Try out these 4 tips. They're going to increase your power. You're going to start hitting harder with that lead hook. Thanks for joining again today, guys. Remember to train hard, and I'll see you back here again next week.